When COVID broke out this May, working mothers felt the brunt of the impact. School closures and childcare demands fell hard on moms who reduced their work hours at higher rates than dads. Mothers were more likely to take up extra chores and to spend more time tackling online lessons with the kids. This dynamic is far from new. Activists say COVID has highlighted longstanding issues in Taiwan that make it a struggle to be a working woman. Here's our Sunday special report.
Chen Yi-ching, a 37-year-old mother of two, works at the Industrial Technology Research Institute. When the Level 3 COVID alert began in mid-May, her older daughter started online learning. Chen switched to working from home so that she could look after her child.
要兼顾小孩，但是工作的压力 loading 是一样多的。虽然我的工作没有技术上的难度
I have to take care of the kids on the side, but my workload is just as high as before. Although my job isn't complicated technology-wise, I still need to be focused. Sometimes I think, well, right now it's work time, but I'm not doing my work. I wonder whether my professionalism is taking a toll because of this.
Chen and her husband both work outside the home. Her husband's job is at Hsinchu Science Park. At the start of the outbreak, the couple had a long discussion over who would take time off to look after the kids.
他这一段期间是最忙的时候，他说他没有任何一天假可以请。
He said that it was their busiest time, so he couldn't take any days off. He couldn't even work from home.
In some families, the grandparents are able to help look after the kids. But in others, the parents have no choice but to take leave when they need extra childcare. That leave is often unpaid, and in most cases, it's taken by women.
More than half of the time, women are the ones who end up caregiving.
There are several factors behind why child rearing ends up the woman's responsibility. First of all, traditional gender roles cast women as the superior nurturer and educator. For many people, it goes without saying that mom should be the one to take time off work.
老师比较不会去找爸爸，爸爸比较忙。
Teachers don't communicate as much with the fathers. They think the fathers are busier. So when teachers organize online courses, all the resources are sent to the mother.
对我们台湾双薪家庭来说，更倚重的其实是安亲班。
Double-income households in Taiwan rely heavily on daycares. I once conducted a field study on the great amount of emotional labor that goes into making kids do their homework and coordinating the parent-teacher-child relationship. During this pandemic, there's been no way to outsource that, so the burden of that emotional labor is back on the family. All that work is now on the parents. I say parents because it sounds better, but we all know that given the traditional gender roles, it ends up being work for mothers.
But traditional gender roles aren't the only reason mums take leave to watch the kids. The gender pay gap is also a key factor. According to government data, women can earn an average hourly salary that's just 86% of what men earn. That statistic rings true for He Shihan, who gave up her career in a research institute to become a homemaker. Thinking back 10 years ago, she sighs when remembering her office environment.
我觉得台湾职场上面对于女性的友善度其实蛮低的耶。
I think Taiwan's workplaces are not very women-friendly. My experience was that, with my professional certifications and my abilities, I was quite clearly more capable than my male peers. But that did not mean I was paid a higher salary. I was not in the position to speak with my supervisors and ask for a raise. They would have said, here's the chart for our department. You came to the company at this pay scale, and that's the way it's going to be. They did not care about what my capabilities were.
比方说在当家庭的收入开始短少的情况之下。
Let's say a household has to decide on cutting a source of income for the family. People think that since men earn more, it's better for the man to retain his job in the current job market. So women feel that they should sacrifice their careers. In principle, either parent can take COVID care leave, but women think that they should be the ones to take it and stay at home without a salary. Spending a long time outside of the workforce does have a negative impact on one's position in the labor market.
For a multitude of reasons, many working women end up becoming their family's primary caregiver. According to government data, married women spend 4.41 hours every day doing household chores. That's 3 times more than the time spent by their husbands.
家事我一个人也都完成了，他回到家几乎都不用做家事。
I do all the household chores by myself. When he gets home, he doesn't really do any housework. It really is like the saying, the woman's place is the home and man's place is the world. I still try to support him because I understand that he is the main source of income for our family. He really does work very hard.
Even when a woman yearns for a fulfilling career, societal pressures can force them inside the home. According to government statistics, the labor force participation rate for women is highest before the age of 30, when 90% of women work outside the home. But after 30, the rate gets lower and lower. Further complicating the situation is that once a woman leaves the labor market, re-entering it can be hard.
一旦离开职场之后，在台湾是这样子，你要重回劳动市场就非常非常的困难。
Once she leaves the labor market, that is, in Taiwan, going back is extremely difficult. In comparison with Japan and South Korea, women in Taiwan tend to have children later, and the labor market is very prejudiced against older workers. Even if a woman has a high level of education, she might end up only being able to work at a convenience store or other jobs like that.
Chen washes rice as her daughter attends an online class. Chen married her husband at 30 and became a full-time mom for 8 years. Before then, this US-educated talent was a project manager at Hsinchu Science Park.
我觉得我念到硕士，而且我去国外念书，当初的追求目标不是为了成为全职妈妈。
I had a master's degree from overseas. When I was starting out, my objective wasn't to be a full-time mother. I wanted to make my way in the workplace. I wanted my efforts to pay off, to slowly climb the ladder and move up the ranks.
Now nearly 40, Chen is back in the workforce, this time as an administrative assistant. She says she appreciates the chance to work again and to explore roles beyond mother and wife. She says that professional fulfillment has always been something she wanted.
即使是担任行政助理，但是毕竟履历上可以多一条我现在在做什么。
Although I'm only an administrative assistant, at least I can add a line on my resume about what I'm doing now. I couldn't write stay-at-home mom in there. I want to switch it up, do something different. We only live once. I'm stepping out of my house and doing something that's just for me.
It can be hard to balance work and family. That's a struggle many people experience today. Activists say the government and employers should try harder to understand and to support working parents. Take COVID family leave, for example. Women's groups say that the government should offer fully paid leave to families, as Norway does.
说挪威在疫情期间，他想要再请就是家庭照顾假，他可以延长这个家庭照顾假的天数。
For instance, in Norway, people who need family care leave during the pandemic can extend their leave and still get 100% of their pay. In Sweden, if schools or daycares close due to COVID and parents have to take time off to take care for their children, they can get 90% of their wages subsidized. It's paid for by their insurance. The government offers the leave and the pay.
Though gender stereotypes are hard to change, there are ways to help women stay in the labor force. These ways include opening more public daycares and encouraging companies to run daycares of their own.
政府的角色是什么？你就是公共托育便宜、品质又好。
What's the government's role in this? Public daycares with affordable prices and high-quality care are very hard to find, especially for children in the 0 to 2 age bracket. For kids that age, if you can't find a daycare and you don't have any other support, in Taiwan, many parents get help from their own parents. If there's no help like that, you'll find that the only option is to quit your job. And once you leave the labor market, it's difficult to make your way back in.
在家里照顾孩子或者是照顾家人这件事情，这一段履历在职场上并不会被承认。
Taking care of children and doing housework are not recognized as work by hiring managers. Many women who want to re-enter the workforce have low self-esteem, or they feel anxious, wondering if they can keep up in the workforce. They might think, how am I going to justify this 5-year gap? Some employers can even be condescending, saying things like, "So, what have you been doing these past 5 years? Did you spend 5 years breastfeeding? Did you not study or work on self-improvement?" and so on. Some employers use derogatory language. For many women, the reality is that if they leave the workforce and then go back, they end up in lower-tier jobs than before. They might choose a job that's not a specialty occupation, a job with a lower entry threshold, a job that offers more flexibility.
Work and family. These two commitments account for much of the time spent across a person's lifetime. For Taiwan's women, it's a struggle striking a balance between the two while also finding the time to rest. For Taiwan's government, the challenge is to help both parents participate in childrearing as well as the workforce. Amid the pandemic, this long-standing issue has never been more relevant.